is a little video about ujjayi breathing. And when you make the following sound, just exhale it, or inhale it. Anyone can make those sounds with their mouth open. It's just a vocalization. When I exhale, if I create a little bit of pressure so that I can't easily exhale, I close the top of the entranceway into bronchial tubes, close the epiglottis. What will happen is pressure increases in the lungs. So the transfer of oxygen is dependent on the pressure in the lungs and how long that pressure is held. So if I prolong my exhale with a little back pressure created by closing this area, I'll get this kind of sound with a little more pressure going into the lungs because it's difficult for the air to get out. So if you watch this particular area as I inhale, okay, if my mouth is open and I make the same sound, it's from the throat, it's not from the sinuses. So you don't want to irritate this area. There are lots of sensitive nerves, so you don't want to do that. So you want to feel this area. You can always put your finger there, and as you inhale, you see there's a little shift in this area. It tends to want to go in. Okay. The tighter I get the epiglottis, I start getting a different sound. You can make this sound. It's a funny sound. Or you can make a creaking door sound. So that shows how the air is coming in. So that means I have some control here over the flow of air into the lungs. Well, I can do the same thing on the exhale. Where I'm trying to close here, you're not going to see that little opening. So when you're first learning ujjayi and you're trying to control, you control from here. Then you start practicing on the inhale. Or. As you exhale, you try to hold that same action. So if I practice inhaling, I'll learn to control this area. And then when I exhale, I match the same sound. So when you're doing ujjayi breathing, you're trying to have uniform sound as you're inhaling, uniform sound as you exhale. If you start getting little ripples in that sound, that means you're at the limits of your breath. And that means the heartbeat itself is beginning to change how smooth everything is. Maybe there's too much pressure on the heart. It starts being reflected in the sound. So you want to keep a nice uniform sound. And you know you're not straining if the sound stays very smooth. It's a good way to keep your mind focused, a good way to increase oxygen going into the body, as particularly as you exhale. When you inhale, it's a sound. And that's our explanation of ujjayi.